Hello everyone, my name is Dr. Manisha Gupta and I am assistant professor in Noida Institute of Technology in the MBA department. In the last lecture, we have discussed about the number of the rating scales and there are the few other rating scales on the left. So in this lecture, we are basically going to talk about the graphical rating scale, ranking scale and your forced ranking scale. Graphical rating scale. So basically what is the graphical rating scale? The graphical rating scale was originally created to enable the researcher to discern the fine differences. To discern the fine differences, we have used the graphical rating scale, and for this purpose is originally the graphical rating scale was created. Theoretically, the finite number of the rating are possible if your participants are sophisticated enough to differentiate and record them. Means if your respondents is very sophisticated and they have knowledge, then you can collect the number of the infinite number of the ratings or responses, and they are instructed to mark their response at any point along the continuum, and they can point or mark their response on the any point of the continuum of a scale. Then usually the score is a measure the length. When you put your response on any point of the continuum, then how they are going to measure it? They usually measure the length in a millimeter. Suppose there is a scale is given and you have two options, one is here, one is here. It is a one positive, suppose it is a positive stream and this is a negative stream point. So they record the response. Suppose you have a put the response here, so they measure this length in terms of the millimeter to create or evaluate your response, and from the either endpoint, means they have recorded in from the any of the endpoint. Suppose from the positive end also they can record it, and they can record it from the negative end also, and the result are treated as a interval data. In this step of the research, whatever the data we have collected the interval data. The difficulty in this is, whatever the difficulty we face in this study, that we face the difficulty in the coding and analysis of the study. When we took the data from the or collect the response, before analyzing it, we put some coding technique to analyze our data, and in this step of the scale, very difficult to code your data and the analysis, and this scale require more time than the other scale which we have studied till now, because you have to measure in terms of the millimeter or the centimeter from the any of the point, which is a very tedious task, and it also cause problem in the coding and analysis of your data. Here is example is given, the graphical rating scale. Suppose there is a question is given, how do you like to recommend the complete care to the other? So the complete care is the example of a company, means they are using the complete care product, company's product. So do you recommend the complete care company to the other, and place an X at a position along the line to best reflect your judgment, and they ask us to place a X, means mark X according to your preference. If you like it, means you are going to recommend that company to the other, then you can post your response nearby this, and if you dislike or you don't like to share it or recommend to the other person, then you can post your comment nearby this option. So suppose you like it, you are going to post it somewhere here. Suppose you have a post to respond by here, and you have put a cross because they ask you to put a cross on it. So for the analysis, you are going to measure the distance from this point to this point, or you can measure from extremely, because you say very likely, that is a very positive point scale, and very unlikely, that is your very negative or dislike one. So you have to measure, the customer has responded, has given the response, and then you have to analyze or evaluate the length of it. The graphical scale is often used with the most of the time with the children who's more limited and the vocabulary means they don't understand the vocabulary, so that is why they have given the graphics to respond. So they respond on the graphics and how they feel about that particular graphic instead of the, and the use of the scale anchored with the word, because if you talk about the children, they may don't understand all the words of your respondent, but they can understand the images. What is the limitation of your graphical rating scale? The limitation of the graphical rating scale is the respondent may check at most at any position along the line, which in fact may increase the difficulty in analysis, because if you put your, suppose in this length anywhere cross, then that is a very difficult to analyze, and in the graphical rating scale you have given the respondent to put their response at any point of the continuum, which is difficult to analyze. Then the meaning of the term may depend upon the respondent frame, means whatever the options you have given, like in the previous slide you have seen that they have given the emojis, one is smiling, other one is not smiling, or that doesn't look that look unhappy. So you have understand it, but what has happened when the people use the different images, like you have use images like thumbs up. What do you mean by the thumbs up? Means people like it, and if you give the second image is like thumbs down, means you don't like it. But these type of the symbols may mean different for the different people in the different cultures. So how you are going to perceive those responses will depend upon your background, or we can say the respondent frame of the reference. So the meaning and the term depend upon the respondent frame of the reference so much that the statement might be challenged in terms of the equivalence, means the response which you have collected. Suppose in the one culture the meaning is different for the other, although they want to give the same response, but they, because of the difference in their understanding, they may put their response on a different side. Suppose one have put their response different side, one has put their response on this side, but although they are want to give the similar response, but their basic understanding is different, they have perceived it differently because of their sampling frame of reference. Next scale is your staple scale. So what is the staple scale? Staple scale was originally developed to measure the direction and the intensity of the attitude simultaneous, means you are not only measuring the direction, means either you like it or dislike, you also measuring the intensity of the attitude, means how much you like it and how much you dislike it. So in the staple scale we measure both the likeliness, or we can say the in what direction our respondent want to respond, and also how much intensity in their responses. The modern version of the staple scale place a single adjective at a substitute for the semantic differential. In the semantic differential we have seen the two poles, that is a responder of the bipolar, but in our modern staple scale they have given the one single objective. If you remember the staple scale, they have two important bipolar, one is here, other is here, and you have to rate between that. But in the staple scale the adjective or the response just in middle, and there is a different numbers of the both of the side of that single adjective. Then the modern version staple scale place the single adjective at a substitute of the semantic differential when it is difficult to create a bipolar adjective, means this type of the scale is used when we are not able to create two proper bipolar response as we have used in our semantic differential scale. Then modified scale place the single adjective at the center of the even number of the numeric values, means you have put it as center and both side you have given the equal numeric value, but one side you have given the numbers in a positive, other side you have given the number in the negative. Steeple scale, here the example is given of the steeple scale. Now take a look what there is an instruction is given, they have a certain instruction is given to give you a response. Suppose they select the plus number of the word that you like the description of the personal banking of the bank accuracy. Here they are trying to collect the data about your banking experience, and they said if you are accurate and you think whatever the question is asking from you, you are like it or you are positive to it, then you put your response to the positive side, or you think that the questions which are asked is accurate or correct, then you responded positive side. But the more accurate you think the word describe the bank, the larger plus number you should choose. Means if you think the response is more accurate, then you choose the higher positive value. Means higher positive value when you are going to choose, when you think that the response is more and more accurate. Then the select the minus number of the word you think to do not describe the bank accurately. Means you choose minus value if think the whatever the option is given, the bank is not providing it accurately or correctly or positively, they have not given you. And select less accurate value if you think the word describe the bank are larger minus number, then you should choose. And if you think that is a very least accurate, whatever the response you have choose, if they are very least accurate, then you choose more negative value. Suppose in the first question they are asked about the friendly person, means if you visit a bank, then their staff is very friendly. If you think they are friendly, then you can select from the positive side, and if you think they are not friendly, then you choose in the negative side. But how friendly they are, and if they are so friendly, then you may choose for the this option. If you think they are somewhat more, then you can choose for this option, and if you think they are very extremely friendly, then you will go for the +5. And in the same way, if you think the personnel or the staff is not very friendly, or you can say they are unfriendly, then if they are less unfriendly, then you can choose for the this. But if you think the bank personnel is not at all cooperative and they are not friendly, or not at all they are friendly, they are extremely unfriendly, then you can choose this value, means -5 you can choose. In the similar way, there is one more example is they given competitive loan rate. If they ask that the bank is giving the competitive loan rate or not. Suppose in the industry the average rate is given 12% and the bank is also giving you the 12%. So you can say that they are giving the competitive loan value. So you can choose the respond in these options. But if you think they are giving the high loan rate, suppose the market rate in most of the banks providing you the 12%, but they are charging 14% suppose. So you may select -2 or -3, depends upon. But if they are providing you the 18%, which is extremely high, then you may select the -5 value. So this is how the steeple scale works. And next topic is your ranking scale. So what is the ranking scale? Basically the ranking scale is also your close-ended scale that allow the respondent to evaluate the multiple row item in a relation to the one column item or the question in the rank survey and then rank the row item. Means they here they have the number of the items in a row and they ask you the rate in a one column, or you can say you are asking to respondent to rate their options or the responses. In this scale used of the, and this type of the scale is mostly used in your market research to ask the ranking question. If you want to rank and you want the customers a preference in the ranking, suppose why do purchase any product and you have given the certain characteristics of the product and you ask them to rank them, that what is the most preferred reason you purchase that product. So, you asking the customer to rank on the basis of their need, that why they have chosen any product to purchase it on. And next, on the ranking scale, the question may be in terms of the, whatever the question we have asked, you can ask the product in terms of the features, like you want to rank the product feature, that what is the best feature of the product, what is the least best feature of the product, or the need of the product or the want of the customers towards their product. And it can be used in both online and offline survey. Today most of the time we are using the online survey, which is most of the easiest way of the survey. So, you can also use the ranking scale in your online service also, and also in your offline survey. And what else we can do with the rating scale? You can also rate the existing product and the ranking scale and give the more detailed answer to whether the customer like the product in a question or not. You can also ask the questions to the customer about your existing product, that what they like about your product, what they dislike about your product, how much what they want to improve, and you ask those questions in terms of the ranking, that you ask them to rank it on the basis of their features, the basis of the quality, or what things should be need to change first. Then in the ranking scale, the analyze the ranking question is not as straightforward as a performing or the simple numeric analysis. It uses average ranking analysis, for which it involves the two stages. They have to involve two stages. First is assigning the value of the each rank and the finding the average of the response for their assigned value. So, how do you analyze? First of all, you assign the value, and when the respondent has answered, then you find the average of the response for their assigned value, means how much people had chosen what options more. Now, what are the advantage and disadvantage of your ranking scale? So, there are the few advantage and disadvantage. First is, the advantage of the ranking scale is it helps to generate the advanced customer insight, because it give you more customer insight, and also eliminate your response biasness, means the biasness of the respondent is also eliminated. Then easy to use, this technique or scale is also very easy to use. Then what are the disadvantage of this ranking scale is, it is not easily interpreted, because when you talk about the ranking, it is not easily interpreted. There is no positive and negative, no black and white in this. So, it is difficult to interpret, and the analyzing and the interpretation of the ranking question are not straightforward as they are in your, like in your Likert scale, semantic scale. So, there is a very straightforward answer, either you like the product or don't like your product, but in the ranking scale your response is not that way, and it forces the respondent to place the importance of the one item over the other. Then we talk about the what is a forced choice scale. It is basically, most of the time like in the Likert survey, you have given the option of the neutral, undecided. So, you give them the one way to out from your questionnaire, that if they do not want to give the any response, so they may choose undecided or neutral. But in the forced choice survey, what is happened, that they force the scale, means they force the respondent to give them response, And in this survey, the forced choice scale is one of them. Most of the time, the lot of the research questions allow you to collect the more actionable data, and for this we get the more actionable data, and the forced choice scale also give them us more actionable data. And the forced choice scale is also called as acceptive scale, and is a rating scale that does not allow the undecided, neutral, or don't know, or the no opinion response. They did not give the respondent a midway to go out. So, and why it is given? Because they are designed to force the respondent to express their opinion or attitude, and the scale forced the respondent to choose between two or more desirable option and pick up the one that is the most preferred and the clearly indicated definitive opinion. So, in this type of the survey, you are forcing the respondent to answer your questions. So, they have to choose between the two options. They have to give the more desired option. So, you cannot go for the neutral answer or don't know or no opinion options. Now, the forced survey question are usually written in the form of agreed or disagreed statement, and it consists of the statement where the respondents select the one closest to the true feeling, and by this you will get the true feeling of the respondent. Then the abstractive method may be more useful for evaluating trait within the individual, and most of the time it is used for evaluating the trait within the individual. And what is happening in the Likert scale? The Likert scale is the more useful for evaluating the trait of across individual. But what is the difference between your forced scale and the Likert scale? The forced scale measure may be more useful in evaluating the trait within the individual, where the Likert type of the scale is more useful in evaluating the trait across the individual. Means you will get the common trait across the individual, but in this you will get evaluating the traits within the individual. So, that is the difference between your forced choice scale and the Likert type of the scale. And the survey research study generally indicate that excluding don't know and neutral option does not necessarily change the proportion of the response learning towards the certain side of the Likert scale, and to such a question can add the value, and especially when you want to make the business decision and the customer, because when this type of the study used when you try to make a business decision or the customer preference, because here there is no option like no opinion or neutral option. So, you will get the clear cut response of the respondent. There are a few examples of your forced choice scale, like you are giving them, this is similar to the Likert scale, but there is no midway. So, you give the response like the extremely dissatisfied, very dissatisfied, moderately dissatisfied, moderately satisfied, very satisfied, or extremely satisfied. So, these three are the positive and these three are your dissatisfied responses. You have forced the respondent to give you the clear picture that what they are thinking. And in the last, there is a last scale which we have to discuss, which is the Thrustone differential scale. This is the one of the most formal and very old scale. This scale is the first formed method of the measuring attitude. Basically, this is the first scale to measure the attitude in the psychology and sociology, and it's originate in the early 20th century, where the psychologist Louis Leon Thrustone began to measuring the religious attitude by asking them, are you agree or disagree type of the statement with the series of the related statement, and he understood that the attitude have the cumulative and that he could and therefore calculate as a sum of the total or the each statement of the respondent or the agreed or disagreed. Basically, this is the first scale, the attitude measurement, which they have start using in the early 20th century, where they have given the response that are you agree or are you disagree. So, this is the example of your Thurstone differential scale. Like if you ask them, am I inspired to meet my goal at work? So you can give just to answer yes, you are inspired, then agree. If you don't inspire, then you are disagree. And in the second option, what is example there? If you feel completely involved in my work, you have given the option, are you feel extremely involved in your work? Then if you agree, then you go for this statement, and if you disagree, you will go for this statement. So by this, I am ending this session. See you in next class.